Hey, what's up, everyone? Uh, I am going to discuss something that a lot of people, um, in my opinion, kind of get wrong sometimes, and that is a Derringer good for self-defense? Now, before I discuss this, you might say, well, who the heck is this guy to give us advice on these sort of things? What kind of credentials does he have? And I'm going to share my credentials with you right now. I like guns. Okay, that's about it. No law enforcement, no military, no training certificate. I just like guns and I think a lot. But anyway, I digress. Um, I've always heard that the FBI said that when there is a self defense gunfight of some sort, that like there's like a rule of three, that it tends to happen with 3 shots or less within 3 yards and within 3 seconds. So, I mean, going according to those things, um, let's say within 3 yards, well, these would be fine because these are kind of like a short distance kind of a gun. You're not going to try and qualify for, to carry a handgun, shooting 25 yards with one of these. It doesn't really make much sense. I mean, really, look at those sight pictures. What are you going to do with that from 25 yards? Not the best thing to shoot, right? I think we both agree with that. But within 3 yards, even 4 or 5 yards, it's fine. Point and shoot, just like a cheap camera. So we got it fine with that. Second thing, we have 3 shots. Well, it kind of falls short there. This one, which is clear, by the way, as you can see, only has 2 rounds in it. So that means that some of those self-defense shootings that only take 1 round or 2 rounds, or sometimes, just presenting the gun will send the bad guy running away with urine-soaked pants. So you might not need to even fire 1 shot. But if 3 is kind of something that would happen frequently in a self-defense shooting, you're falling short here because you only have 2 shots. Better than nothing, of course, but not the ideal. This guy, clear, same thing. You only have 2 shots. That's the bad thing about these. 2 shots. Now, the third thing, with 3 minutes, kind of depends on the firearm. Now, this firearm, for example, within 3 seconds, I meant to say, with 3 seconds, for one thing, it has a safety. And there we go, safety is off. You could see the red there. It has a crossbolt safety. One problem with this particular Derringer, and keep in mind, I love these. I'm actually going to buy a second one because I love Bond Derringers. But like any tool, they excel at sometimes more than others. There's sometimes you want a screwdriver and sometimes you want a wrench. It might be a great wrench and a great screwdriver, but certain things for certain jobs. Now, this one grips a little bit awkward. And also when I shoot this, I tend to have to hold it kind of like this because if I don't get just the right grip on it with the 45 ACP barrel, on a couple of occasions it kind of kicked back a little bit, cut my hand open. I don't mind. I like it a lot. But normally that doesn't happen. But you got to get a very good kind of calculated grip on it. The trigger, as you can see, it kind of, you're pulling it down. You're not really pulling back, you're pulling down. Some people might not find that to be totally intuitive. And the final thing is, it is single action. So you have to pull that back, obviously, then pull the trigger. Now, you can train to minimize this so that you are fantastic with the single action and you can shoot your single action just as fast as anyone else. It's absolutely possible. It can be done. Question is, how much time do you want to dedicate to that? Now, this Derringer is a little different. This is a double tap defense Derringer. Now with this one, this is not a single action Derringer. It has no hammer and it has no safety. Pretty cool. So basically what you do is you just pull this trigger back And it's a very, very smooth, even trigger pull. I mean, you could shoot this very, very quickly and rapidly and get those 2 shots out pretty fast. No doubt about that. So as far as carrying, from that regard, this one would probably be better than the Bond, since, like I said, it has a much easier trigger pull, a lighter trigger pull, doesn't have a safety to potentially mess you up, and you don't. It's like I said, it's not single action, so there's no hammer to cock in between. So we got some pluses and we got some minuses for the Derringer. Now, some people would say, you know what? Why not just get this? Now, this particular one, I'm not really saying specifically the Canik TP9 SF, but it holds 20 rounds. It's a double action, doesn't require any hammer to pull back. It ejects the rounds. I mean, 20 rounds, hard to beat. If you need some good sights, which maybe from 3 yards you don't, it does have the good sights. Now, as far as rounds go, 9mm. This one, like I said, you got 20 rounds. This one, you only got 2. Now, if you want to bring in other things like concealability, this one is a lot thinner right here. A lot thinner. A lot smaller. I mean, this one just kind of disappears in the pocket. You really don't even know it's there. And it is rather light too. But then again, I mean, really, you might not want to carry this. I really like this a lot also, and I enjoy shooting at the range. I have never once carried it. It's kind of a pain in the neck, and it's not even that big a gun. And it does have a pretty good amount of weight up here because of the slide and whatnot. But again, I like this and I don't carry it. One thing to consider might be a more traditional carry gun, like let's say like a single stack 9, or actually some of the double stack 9s that are coming out, or maybe one of the double stack 380s that are coming out. Something like that would give you the 10 to 12 round capacity, maybe even 15 with some of the smaller double stack 9s. But then if you needed a backup gun, if you're into that sort of thing, get one of these. With this one, you got the easier trigger pull, and you don't have to cock the hammer. This one, actually, I feel like this one's more reliable, to be honest with you. Maybe it's because I've shot it more. I mean, this seems like it's well made, but this one I just really favor. This has a ton of options for the barrels. I mean, like right now on this one, it's a 45, and 45 ACP. You can see right there. Yeah, you can see that 45 ACP. That's pretty good round. You can also get a 10mm barrel if you want. They have 44 special, and I believe you don't see them much, but you can get a 44 Magnum, which I gotta tell you, I would not shoot a 44 Magnum out of this. The 45 ACP, like I said, you have to grip it just the right way. I originally had a 40 Smith & Wesson, and I'm fine with 40 Smith & Wesson, didn't like it out of this. I actually feel this excels with the 410 45 Colt barrel. And that's another interesting thing too, because why not get the 410 45 barrel? You carry, let's say, a small to mid-size 9mm, like let's say a Glock 43. You're getting like, I believe that has 7 rounds, but then they have the extended mags for those. One of my favorite single stack 9s would be the Beretta Nano. Surprise, surprise. And that either has 6 rounds of 9mm or 8 rounds. And you put the 8-round mag on, you get a full-size grip. You get 8 rounds of 9mm. You're good. I mean, according to the FBI, you're going to very rarely need your gun. And if you do, you're going to need probably 3 rounds or fewer. So you got 8, then you have a backup. And guess what? Your backup could have shotgun shells in it. That's a pretty good backup. I kind of like that idea. Now, the crappy thing about this is it is a little heavy, but it's because it's built like a freaking tank. When you die, your children will have this. They die, their children will have it. This is like heirloom quality. This, I don't know. I mean, like I said, it's not badly built at all. It seems very solid, but this is just beautiful. Not as pretty with the rubber grips on, but with certain rounds you do appreciate those rubber grips. So I mean, I guess if you had to say to me, are Derringers good for self-defense? Well, it depends. I love the power you can get out of this because, like, if you look at this, you're not getting 20 rounds of 410 triple up buck out of this. I kind of like having that. But then again, the 2 rounds is kind of killer. I don't even mind the single action trigger because I feel like from shooting it enough, I could just kind of get my thumb around more, or you can just kind of get it two-handed and it would work just fine. Like I said, for me, the only limitation to something like this would be those 2 rounds, 2-round capacity. But like I said, if you are in the habit of carrying a backup gun, why not have something like this? You don't even know this is here, and if you're carrying a 9mm, it uses the same round as your primary gun. This one, well, you're going to know it's there because, like I said, it's got some good weight, especially considering how small it is. It has some good weight. The profile's not that big. You could put this in an ankle holster. You're not really, it's not that big a deal, but then you can have shotgun shells in there. That's pretty cool. So, I mean, it kind of goes to personal taste. Like I said, primary gun, probably not the best, but doable for some situations. Like I said, 3 rounds or less according to the FBI. It's their numbers, not mine. I got it from the U.S. Concealed Carry Association. So if it is wrong, blame them. This would actually do the job in a lot of situations. And I don't know about you, but I'd feel way better having 2 rounds in a Bond Arms Derringer than nothing. And to be quite honest with you, I would feel much better having 2 rounds in a Bond Arms Derringer than I would having additional rounds in some other guns that are out there that I've tried and really aren't that reliable. Like, I've seen people say they think the PMR 30 by Keltec could be a good self-defense gun because 22 Magnum is okay and it holds like 30 rounds. 30 rounds are great. Of course, it's not great if the thing is jamming after every other round or breaking down. This thing is rock solid. I've never had an issue with this because it's very simple. I mean, think about it. It doesn't have anything to eject. Doesn't have anything to load. I mean, it's just simple. So that's something that I think is good to go for in a backup gun. Something that is bomb-proof. Now, you look at some of these guns, I mean, they're mechanical. Anything can break on any gun at any time. I don't care what company, how much you pay for it. But you have to admit that there are certain guns that they just kind of instill confidence. For me, this one instills confidence. Awesome backup if you don't mind the weight. And like I said, something like this, look how thin this is. This is another thing to really think about. It's 0.66 inches wide. That's crazy. And you can see it's kind of like, oh, we go to 0.67. Now we're getting crazy. I mean, check that out. And then, let's see, you figure total length on this thing, 5.04 inches. And then you look at the height of it, 3.91. I mean, I got to tell you, this wouldn't be my first choice, but I certainly wouldn't make fun of anyone who made the decision. I think it has a lot of value there, and like I said, if you're into carrying a backup, there you go. So basically, if I had to give you an answer, I don't have one. I just kind of rambled along and kind of told you my thoughts on things, and hopefully if you're thinking about carrying a Derringer and you either think it's a great idea or a lousy idea, well, I made you think a little bit, and maybe I gave you some good advice. Who knows? If you like this video, please thumb it up, and also if you'd like to see some videos I've done on these guns, whether it be the double tap defense or the Bond Arms Derringer or the Canik TP9 SF, I do have videos. You can just go through my videos or type in 2A Enthusiast and the name of one of these fine pistols, and you can find a little more information about them if you want. All right, I will talk to you later, guys. Bye.